what was and what wasn't, rarest what I've been ever since I was born. At the commencement, I adorn squash, beans, and corn, lots of strings and horns. Over the beat, swing of a horn, outdrum the outcome. The child of athlete is back in action, fact not fashion. Most y'all internet has-beens, more like commercials with whack acting. From commercial to action, I'm laughing back up to laughing. I spit man, God, civilization, John G. Jackson, like a Gatlin, the last dragon. Cosmic memory of an Atlantean. E3 technology is who I am in skin. Walking the landmass is Atlas. Some say I'm batshit crazy, but that's the masses for you. Can you blame the people? Most been trained to be feeble, tame sheeple by the evil who means to keep you cashless in the fastest society, where the vax and the mass are the blame for the dying spree. You the root race, they medieval. Eat the cheap food they feed you or read through these fools. Restorer or rebel, can't play God unless acquainted with the devil. Polarity you choose, acquainted with its level. Frequency, distance is an illusion, so please unveil the confusion. Look beyond the shadow of the late, a hollow year. See the far and distant lands where tomorrow appears. Put it in perspective, decision of each being the latest, most accurate vision of peace, where each one teach one to reach one, freeze one from under the trees and stump of the impeached one. Remember, all skin folk are not kinfolk. While I hold a sword in my left hand, I write a pen to pen quotes. Word to see Lord L. I'ma be more hell to these foreigners till they leave our air, land, and seashore and sell their asses right back across that agua. Screw y'all's dishonorable dogma. Something proper with no lube. The past 25 years I've been the son of solitude. The oil that fused my chakras is cruel. Love my people towards the evils. I'm heartless and rude. Firstborn of Inkle, the dawn of the twinkle. Twinkle little sun, I got bright and I could think too. I blink through a wrinkle in time. Rip Van Winkle and rhyme. And my shit stink too. To link you to source, yes, you rather have AI sink you. I not only know the ledge, I'm on the brink too. They wanna extinct you, your essence is viable. Crimes against humanity, no oppressors liable. They try to write on my recital, yet my presence vital as the session's title. Welcome to the seventh cycle. The heart of man is as the sun, the reception order for the divine ray of spiritual intuition descended unto man. The brain of man is as the moon, the source of human intellect. The body of man is the earthly vehicle. Let the sun impregnate the moon, or let the spiritual fire prompt the human intellect. And let the result fructify in the womb of a purified body. And you will develop the son of the sun, the quintessence, the stone of the wise, true wisdom, and perfect happiness. I teach you up. The human heart cries out for help. The human soul implores us for deliverance. But we do not hear their cries, for we neither hear nor understand. But the man who hears and understands we call crazy and flee from him. This a call to my ancestors. Rid the land of damn settlers. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Whether we feeling immense pressure. Some store each clan better. Planting the devil to stand the weather. It's a must we band together. Put that on Abraham and Esther. From Castilians to conquistadors. Iberians and traitorous Moors. Didn't arrive as friends to us, whether as slavers, invaders, or disguised traders. Missionaries, Islamic Christians with dictionaries. No mutual goal to coexist. Those warships in our tributaries. Military tactics to test shores. Foreigners have no respect for treaties and oath. I expect more from those sworn to conquest except war. They didn't bring women during the invasions. The minds were on rape, miscegenations, the spread of mis and disinformation, which manufactured the miseducation of the soul. Carter G. Washington, Robert Taylor Holmes, Marcy and Brooklyn, projects and hoods where we were pushed in Cali to Florida. Hardly cushion. It's like the terrorists, never ending shipment of American Indians from Belize to the Caribbean. Gives our shocking sheriff meaning. Shut my field can be read, no book. Flows in my veins were prepared with no hook. Behind the back pass with flair, no look. This beef is rare, get fed, no cook. We're peaceful people, they call us animals. Truth of the matter, they were cannibals. Practice unclean religious rites. Evidence tangible, check the annals. I bring heat, this beast flammable. Feel free to critique this cannibal. If your brain's deeply manacled, release or get treated damnable. You speak Hannibal, I talk black hole. Fighting a line, now the cheese back with bulk. That's big muscle drip up to tussle with Uncle Sam, big brother and his clique. I put that on Abraham Abraham and Esther. It's so much we band together. Blend in the devil to stand the weather. Sound strong, each clan better. Whether we feeling the man's pressure, turn our signs to hand gestures. Rid the land of damn settlers. This is a call to my ancestors. Based on real life, it's nothing like the old school. High vibrations is what it feels like. It's nothing like the old school. This goes way back, before I was knee deep out in them streets gangling. Like the prison and that old crazy mess. This is what really makes me me, y'all, at its core. So check it out. I arrived in 1970, August 14th, to be precise. Eldest son, firstborn of 5, alive as the Christ. Had sunny days, just like I had spooky nights, which accounts for my old lows and my newly heights. Childhood, not of the norm. Excellence, how I perform. Deep down, I was mad, that's why now I bring the storm. Memorize Psalms and other passages of scriptures after learning the Quran to fend off the jinn's whispers. It was like my mother and father tried to hide us for the Pontius Pilates, Kiheras, and other outsiders. No celebrating holidays, kept away from ungodly ways of playing games, calling names the cost of what folly pays. I'm saying you wouldn't believe such discipline, wishing to make friends with the neighborhood children. But it was like wish again from early on was taught I was different, not better, just gifted. There's a big difference. Had telescopes, microscopes, chemistry sets, book snaps, paints, carpentry tools, wrote poems not yet known as raps. Learned alphabets and mathematics from my mama. Learned meditation and martial arts from my father. Watched my uncles create music, show I beat drums, played keyboards with my dad, the guitar he strummed. Didn't consume pork nor beef. I would eat plums, not knowing this was part of who I would become. True story. This is based on real life. It's before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of light. High vibrations, it's what it feels like. True story. This is based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of life. High vibrations, now around it feels like 1982 was no longer separated from the outside world off the porch. Yeah, I made it. First noticed her standing in my b-boy stance. Leapt at the chance and began to break dance on wooden floors. I got sore from the workout. It was me, Chili T, my man Shabazz Muhammad, and Phil G. When I met her on 93rd, next Jeffrey Manor, master of all crews, was written on my banner. The manner of my approach, yo, I rocked her. World with backspins, atomic flares, and helicopters, hella proper. Guys that were awesome, tried to get fresh up at Besma and on commercial. Attempted to test a bus moves on linoleum. Loved her on cardboard. Roughed it off on concrete with combinations I had stored. Poured my heart into her around the time I met Dula, Yusef, Rashi, Stony Island Park, CVS, School, the battleground, found passion. Another element turned my heart into graffiti, evidence of being present. Taggers united together, network of writers who most times put all-nighters. True riders, 1987, we were kings of the line. Won the epic war with Sass on the dead run. My guys, Dickie, Tron, Advanced, Plain Sound, and Vanish. I do this for you and the true TUT clan is the bandits. True story, it's based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of light. High vibrations, that's what it feels like. True story, based on real life. This before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of life. High vibrations is what it feels like. Let's clear this up? I am the great matriarchs, give to America, rare, uncut, sun complected, yet deemed wretched of the earth. Though my old blood's majestic, something shed the most rejected. Nevertheless, check the record of my birth. Never read a book for knowledge of myself. The silence I felt, not from wildness of wealth, but from rawness of my breath. I received meditatively. My mother and father educated me. I author faith creatively. I've walked through a few schools of thought that truth is art. It has no cause, yet the cause of everything. Falsehood is law, yet the manifest of right. Once the darkness comes to light, these words Timothy didn't write. That didn't quite shit well with a gang of y'all. When it comes to fishing hell, truth is stranger, y'all. I came to y'all to bring the fault of a government that's been de facto and the enemy of so-called black folks. I make sure being realistic and admits it. How's it we've allowed this shit from gold defiant now encrypted? Are y'all complicit in spirit with the metaverse? Metaphysics also makes me America's curse. I'm not in competition with men or women. I'm defending my household from those who are pretending garbed in skin the same as us, taking up the same name as us, who attempt to claim the same rank as us. Y'all be satisfied with societies like Westworld, where Bernard's really Arnold. Dolores is your best girl. Universal soldier, our robot is now the task force. The vast passport is on its own crash course. With or without y'all, I'ma own my role and bring fire upon them. That's on my soul. Y'all waiting for the Galactic Federation to come save y'all. Another United Nations site up to further enslave y'all.
Lose you. Hold on, this thing is leaning a little bit. Oh man, what's going on, beloved? It's cracking, it's cracking. How's it going? How's it going, man? What's happening? What's happening? It went to war with her and one of her consorts called Kingu, which was one of her earlier sons and her consorts. It's beautiful out. She went to war with them. And they went to war. Going back out. So let me come and read. We got 12 minutes, is good enough. I just want to read something right quick because you know, they always put off the kids to try and put something together, whether it's the lineage of a president. Most of us knew before that even happened. We just never thought it was a talking piece. And original, what's going on, beloved? I want y'all to hear this because, you know, we get a lot of misinformation, right? So I've mentioned it, but I figured everybody else knew. And then I saw some people comment on them like, when somebody says something, it doesn't mean that it's the answer. Like I said, Bill Gates, appeal. He didn't invent nothing. Bill Gates is not a billionaire. He is a puppet. He's a plant to put there to face of something. And you need to know that the corporation, this is how they move. You know, if you're in the military and you're selected for something, and if they want, something goes wrong, you know how they say it travels from top to the bottom. A lot of times it starts at the bottom and stays right there, and the top mitigates who's gonna get punished, you know, and that happens a lot. But you know, like Bill Gates, right? Somebody made a comment about appeal, APEL. First of all, James Rogers, the one who's the owner, they say. I want you to really pay attention, okay? James Rogers. You need to know about 2012, right? Founding Appeal was founded in 2012 by James Rogers. You can look up who he is and his background. Pay attention. After receiving a $6 figure, okay, a six-figure amount of dollars, excuse me, about 100,000 grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to help reduce post-harvest food waste in developing countries that lack refrigeration infrastructure. We know that to be not true. If you look at this, right? You look at what companies does Oprah own, okay? There's around 10, and she just created an organic based on her farm in Maui. She has Harpo Inc., Weight Watchers, and nobody really knew that in the beginning. We found that out in the military and told everybody. And like, yeah, that's like, Oprah owns it. That's why she was the face of it. She pushed it even though she had surgery. And there's certain pills and foods that people in the stars in Hollywood utilize, and it's not the crap you're buying. Weight Watchers is crud. Oatly, that milk and stuff, which is garbage. Appeal Sciences. Appeal Sciences is a startup that has created edible coating made from plant materials that can make fruit last 2 to 3 times as long to help drastically reduce food waste. And in June 2020, alongside other celebrities like Katy Perry, Oprah contributed to a $250 million fundraising round, bringing Appeal's value to $1 billion. So if she owns Appeal Sciences, okay? Now y'all know Katy Perry's a knucklehead, right? How do you get into that position think you're a spokesperson? But when you look at it and you go back to James Rogers, but yet Bill Gates, who is the founder, who is the main one behind it? Well, Appeal has 28 institutional investors, including Temasek, a 16-ounce in IFC. Bill Gates and 6 others are angel investors in Appeal. Angels don't mean what you think it means. Every time you got these religious people saying angel, this is a fourfold, a little bit of T. Every time people say angels, you're giving to something that is not good. When they say angelic, oh, my baby's angelic, that baby's probably going to grow up to be one of the worst things you will consider a demon, because you're casting a spell of something you know nothing about. It's funny how we go from luminaries and you being luminous, being sentient, to being hue of a man, mankind, and then you wonder why they do the things they do. You look at old organics. It was started up with Oprah and a Hindu. I'm not going to mention his name. I put a post up about 10 years ago on Facebook, 10 years ago, showing this big, tall, fat Gujarat and Oprah. All right. And that's not in lieu of Oprah Organics, which is now in Maui. But everything they're doing, all those stuff, if you get 11 part water, whatever that stuff's called, and you were to take regular fruits and vegetables that are sprayed with all these chemicals, glyphosate and all atrazine, whatever that stuff's called, and you take them same organic ones and put it in the same water, it's going to be the same murky yellow, because the crap they're spraying it on organic stuff. They're attempting to kill everybody or mess you up. And you people really need to pull up I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and do y'all a solid. Please utilize the number. And if it's changed, pull up another one. This is all organics. Now, all the other companies are doing the same thing. So every time you go out there and buy organic stuff, I soak, I rinse, I have certain things I utilize to extract as much chemicals as possible, because I know all these fruits and everything have this crap on it. And there's no need for it. None whatsoever. All right. I would argue with any of them, just like they're talking about all this climate change and stuff, which they're making. But take this number down and call them and ask them, why are you still spraying these chemicals on when the rest of the world is not? And nobody's having problems or issues. And you let them know, because you want to continue to poison us. 877-723-3929. I've called numerous times. Well, I am one voice out of certain concerned mothers who are aware of this, and they're but a handful. Okay? Let's go ahead and get into reading. I just wanted to share that with you, because I know a lot of you think you're doing the best thing you can. I know that you haven't raised your consciousness, your source, to outdo these things. So it's important. Now, I know you haven't. So do the next best thing. And anything after that, I cannot speak on, communicate on. All right. Exposing expositions of 1851 to 1950. Howdy Mikowski's Revised 2021 edition from his 2019. Isn't it funny? I started reading this, it was 22, it's 24. Well, the first time I read it, Howdy Mikowski. So this is, as you can see here, I meant to show y'all that. It is from his first one, it's not too good. The Court of Honor, Chilagua. I'll say Chilagua. I'll call it Chicago. Okay. T. Hines, what's up, beloved? I hope that was good information. I hope that you got something from that. Okay. So yesterday we left off at J.W. Boyle wrote in the opening of his volume on anthropology at the exposition that the Pharaohs has an all-embracing scope in which is to be seen the works of men of all races. And it was just to create the new narrative by Franz Boas, everybody that played a part. Now, you remember they killed Kennedy. You remember the first president they killed? Because he was afraid of who we were and what may happen down the road. because he knew who we were. Now you got, so all of a sudden you got these so-called smart uh, indigenous people, whether melanated, dark melanated, or Spanish influence or whatever, who think they know everything, who are Masons, and they're telling people, "Oh, you're not Hebrew, you didn't." They just need to be quiet. And especially the ones in these little cities that think they're bad at butts. They really. And I don't even count. I love when they're on point, but when they say dumb stuff, I used to always pull them to the side and like, stop. You don't know what you're talking about. But when you get in these little groups and you do drugs and you think you know everything, those are the ones who are just problematic and argumentative. I'm not here to argue with nobody, especially when the ones who argue are the ones who don't know nothing. I just let them be. But I'm letting you know, be mindful. Hebrew is a language, which is ancient or archaic Aramaic. Nobody speaks it, but it's in the language. Perverse, somewhat. Cuneiform is a hydrogenated. Do you know what I mean? Fats and oils, solids. It's kind of the bad part. Okay? It's kind of fabricated. Okay? That's to make you believe in something other than. Yet there is a simpler version. But those things were unnecessary. Unnecessary. Are you starting to see it? They have created a whole dystopia of a false history, and they've pushed it because why is it that none of you are finding it? Because they made you not want to be anthropologists and archaeologists and all that other stuff? And that's a lie. All this is recent, and they're going to continue to, unless you go in the backyard and dig something up. Right now, a lot of you see round rocks in your yard, and you're hundreds of miles away from the ocean. But if you was to crack those geostones, you would find certain sea mollusks and shells in them. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? So these individuals right now are rewriting history. The president at that time, the World's Fair, was assassinated because he did not want to destroy the buildings. He fought arguably the hardest against it, and he won no further part in our deaths. Now, one positive exhibit of note was the horse Jim Key, the educated Arabian Hambletonian cross horse in his silver horseshoe pavilion. He was owned by Dr. William Key, an African-American, Native American former slave. You see what they did? Because in real history, African-American never existed, even up into the early so-called 9th century or 1900s or 20th century. He was a Native American original. Former slave, POW, let's put POW, who became a respected self-taught veterinarian. As I stated, we've always had horses. And even with minimal research, you can find this out. But these people write based on what they've come across, because the sources and references are there, and we're reading them. I give you some of the, well, I haven't given you some of the websites because you can look them up. It's very serious, very simple. He was owned by Dr. William Key, and Dr. William Key, slave. Anyway, he took the horse on tour of the United States to show his philosophy of human treatment of animals, and to show that animals have feelings and thoughts that would be coming from us, nobody else. And not just things to work in field labor. Jim Key could add, subtract, use a cash register, spell with blocks, tell time, and give opinions on the politics of the day by shaking his head yes or no. Dr. Key's motto was that Jim was taught by kindness instead of the whip. Now, because of status, they won't look beyond that. They can't perceive consciously because they've been subjugated to a narrative that is false in this whole diatribe. So in the fake whiteness of existence, of a superiority to which they're not, you have this elusive torment of truth. The fair hosted the 1904 Summer Olympic Games. At the same time, the first Olympics held in the United States, well, America. These games had originally been awarded to Chicago, but when St. Louis threatened to hold a rival international competition, the games were relocated. Nonetheless, the sporting events spread out over several months were overshadowed by the fair. With travel expenses high, many European athletes did not come. Many of the events were bogus, and the marathon turned out to be the strangest race, maybe even run, with the winner taking rat poison during the race. The winner taking rat poison during the race, and another using a taxi cab to get to the finish line first. Not too long after that, we would have World War One, to which should have never happened, and we should have never been in. We were forced, our hand was forced to go in there and lose so many lives. Then the fair was dismantled. The Chicago Wrecking Company won the contract and had it dismantled in less than 2 years. All of the buildings, structures, and statues were said to be buried in 3 landfills. I would love to see those landfills to see how much marble might still be in them. This fair again lost money, a lot of money. Total cost 15 million, total return 6.4 million. Loss of 8.6 million, or $238 million in today's so-called money. Well, the money then actually was different. It had gold and silver standards. So it would be no. And you would think that he would know that. So it would be no relationship whatsoever. They keep losing massive amounts of money, yet they keep putting them on. Why, you have to ask? Why indeed? Wars, bro. A lot of fighting and a rewrite of history. But strange is not the word as we head towards the expo in San Francisco. That is because it was just 9 years after its great earthquake, 9 years, of 1906, made the city look like Hiroshima or Nagasaki. So yes, the best thing one can do is put up 400 acres of buildings to be used for only a few months, then tear them all down. Who needs housing and buildings after a completely devastating earthquake? Apparently not San Francisco. If any of y'all ever been to San Fran, I've been there many times. There are ancient buildings still there, and you can see it. Next, we'll begin into Chapter 6, San Francisco, 1915. The final fair to talk about is the 1915 Panama exhibition. And we'll get into that, and it'll be pretty interesting. Okay? I haven't eaten anything, consumed anything, and I'm kind of hungry. Man, I could have ate about an hour ago, but we can wait another hour or so. Let's go ahead and get into Heaven Bearers, The New Age of Deception by Janine Helen. Here's the book. Excellent read. Remember, I showed to look into those trees. How many of you ever studied the deforestation in the 1940s and 60s in China? Purposely done too. Beyond comprehension. Look into it. So anyway, we're going to finish with the Ford, okay? And it's only a little bit, and then we'll get into the beginnings. Lastly, I want to briefly touch on Coral Castle. Coral Castle, a lone Latvian American man deemed to be eccentric, named Edwards Lechkalnin, 1887 to 1951, built a unique megalithic stone structure out of limestone and somehow managed to cut the stones himself. Each stone was estimated to weigh several tons, and with the simple tools he had at his disposal, they know that's in Florida, I believe, right? Was able to cut these stone blocks out of the rock. If this wasn't enough, he was also able to lift these stone blocks by hoisting them up using a primitive crane and lay them down onto each other. No one truly knows how he managed to do this all on his own, nor did anyone ever get to see him work in action. He was a very private man who could feel the prying eyes watching him, and it is said that when this happened, he would not work and patiently wait for them to leave. Logically and realistically, he shouldn't have been able to build what he did. According to the website of Coral Castle, it states that if anyone ever questioned Ed about how he moved the blocks of coral, Ed would only reply that he understood the laws of weight and leverage well. And it is alleged that he also stated that he had discovered the secrets of the pyramids, referring to the Great Pyramid of Giza. It was like he had to go that far. It was claimed that he used reverse magnetism or had some sort of supernatural abilities despite his small size. Was it possible that he had figured out how to use certain frequencies to his advantage, or perhaps had use of his mind's eye that he must keep hidden, and was thus able to make full use of his senses and abilities? Another mystery that has not yet been solved, but a reminder that there are some among us that are capable of achieving spectacular wonders. Another strange legend that is said to have occurred on the 28th October 1943 was that of the USS Eldridge. I think that's the Philadelphia experiment. This ship was a cannon-class destroyer escort, and at the time was conducting top-secret experiments such as how to become invisible and evade an enemy ship radar. According to the reports, the ship glowed an eerie green-blue, and then it completely disappeared. When it reappeared, some of the men's limbs were fused in with the metal of the ship, and they were still alive. This experiment is said to be a mere legend and have no truth to it all, except for a few witness statements. If it was true, the question I pose is this: did the ship become invisible or go to another reality? Or better question is, how did the men become infused with the metal? Logically, the physical matter, yes, it's open. You're looking all crazy. Have had to become intertwined somehow, resulting in this overlap, possibly from two different realities that clashed and then merged back into their original reality. I don't know, and I really wish I did, but the stories are interesting nonetheless, and they expand one's thinking and the realms of possibilities that could exist. Furthermore, they do lend credence to strange happenings such as deja vu or the Mandela effect, which cannot really be explained, although officially explanations do exist. The holographic universe brings up countless studies and research done in the 1900s, demonstrating the unknown and evolution of science. A great read, irrespective of your beliefs, and most definitely food for thought. After all, Francis Bacon, knowledge is power. So I'm going to actually come back on later, and I want to start reading this particular first chapter. And it's going to be recapitulation, heaven bearers, the great reset of 1934 and the mud flood. And we'll be taking it right from here. And I really, I would read it right now, and I don't want to read. I want y'all to pay attention to Mr. Francis Bacon's comment statement. And hey, what's going on? What's going on? I hope that was good enough. I just wanted to keep this real short. I'm actually gonna make me some home chips and some eggplant and lentil on wild rice, and enjoy that. I got a tomato in there to cut up. It's soaked in vinegar and lemon, so it's good to go. And I'll see y'all roughly at 5 o'clock. I'm going back outside first to stand in the sun just for about 20-30 minutes. It feels real good. All right, so appreciate y'all taking the time to come. And I don't know how many of y'all are watching, because they're manipulating things. I only see one person is watching, and I know that's not true. And I appreciate you guys. I want to play some music first, though, before we get off. Why did it do that? That's weird. That's pretty cool, actually. They're working hard, supposedly. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And my music, and a lot
Hey,
of
what's
music,
going on, man? It's good, man. I know there's more watching, and they're just manipulating stuff, and it is what it is.
The oppressor.
It's all right.
That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So only people that
I don't feel no kind of way. I just point it out because
the only people who can have any harm coming to them.
when I say balance, it's balance for them too. But I guess they think nothing's going to happen because they lean on that. He says so-and-so 2 weeks. I don't think they're paying attention to the numbers. And I think somebody's hiding it because they love what's happening. I have no love or no hate, whatever they want to call it, for any of it. Things have to happen the way they have to happen. Regardless of what people believe or think they know.
You rap that folk up, blame my God, it's overdoing your time is in the end. Locked out silent without sin. He quit me on the letter, but justice the wind. The press is about to get rolled down. With some presses attached in the war zone. Revolution can start in the air zone. I'm a messenger popping like Farrakhan. Backed by the honorable who sits at the
I might not eat nothing today. I might just fast. I might just go a whole day without eating anything. I don't know. It feels really good. But I know that I need some, because like I said, I'm working out. And the body's not getting all the minerals. So. I gotta do what I can to manipulate it. So I don't have to.
No weight lesser, drop the oppressor, make no surrender, 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser, drop the oppressor, make
No surrender.
3-pound pressure, no weight lesser, drop the
I saw 3 people's lives yesterday. I gotta say this. And I saw them take their firearms with an attorney and a person. One of them, the other one was just showing a rifle. Now I do that. They say transport handling. I know that's not what it is. If I was to hold my gun here and unload it and show you and make it empty, it's safe. Safe environment, no children, grown, qualified. And they would go, oh, community strike. I'm looking at 3 different lives and these individuals showing their guns. This is the insidious habitual habit of this sick appetite of these individuals. Now, I'm processing thought when I'm saying this because there's like 20 things that come across mind while I'm verbally giving you this frequency or whatever you want to call it. And I just look at the faces of those sitting here, thinking they're in obscurity watching, thinking they're hidden or known. Like it's not known that certain things are controlled from so-called Antarctica, certain things are controlled from certain places. And please don't nobody mention Cheyenne Mountain. I don't even want to hear that foolishness. There are plenty of places y'all have no idea about. That's all I want to say.
no surrender, 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser, drop the oppressor, make no surrender.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in everyday, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme. Everybody back off. Everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere, big business. You want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme, push, step, crush. That's how it all is, and it's like, nobody ever stop.
See you guys at about 5 o'clock, all right?